often the universe arrives with a to-do list that includes things like you have to build a website, or write that darn book, or have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. The truth is, you can't get out of the work. You simply can't. If you don't do the work, you will not grow.
You're listening to Quantum Revolution with Karen Curry Parker, exploring new frontiers in consciousness, science, and evolution. Join us in intimate conversations with cutting-edge scientists, spiritual leaders, artists, disruptors, and visionaries who are working towards reframing the narrative of our future by healing the rift between spirituality and science, reclaiming creativity, and laying the foundation for a new world. And now, here's your host, Karen Curry Parker.
There's a lot of talk out there about aligning and not hustling, attracting and not chasing, and showing up messy. Now, I want to be honest with you. I'm almost 60 years old. My age and my own deep conditioning from having been raised in a family where everyone except me has a defined will center or defined resource center in quantum human design might have me completely biased about what I want to share with you today. Over the years, I've watched people trip themselves up over this idea of aligning and not hustling again and again and again. I've watched this narrative be translated into interesting permutations such as, if you're aligned, then you'll never have to do anything you don't like to do or you don't want to do. Well, try explaining that to the IRS. Also, it doesn't matter if you prepare, just show up. However, and just showing up is enough. Let's be real. I have brilliant ideas in the shower and often before coffee. I promise you that if I made a reel or posted on social media in my messy state, it would not go viral. Also, who really wants to hear something that is half-assed and unprepared? What does that say about self-worth and value and the value of the people you're sharing with? Aren't they valuable enough for you to show up with excellence and care? How about all I have to do is imagine and visualize and stay positive, and the universe will handle all the details? Yes, that's true. But often the universe arrives with a to-do list that includes things like you have to build a website, or write that darn book, or have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. The truth is, you can't get out of the work. You simply can't. If you don't do the work, you will not grow. But this isn't simply a narrative that stems from lazy people who don't want to grow. There are a lot of reasons why the work feels so hard and, well, like so much hustle. Here are a couple of things to contemplate if you're feeling like you're hustling. Number one, we live in a culture where we've learned that if we want to receive something of value like money, time, freedom, recognition, etc., then we have to work hard to get it. The problem isn't the working hard part of this idea, it's the metric we use to define value. We pursue things of value that we hope will then afford us the opportunity to do what we really want to do. We think that if we just have more money or time, then we can follow our dreams. I call this Band-Aid manifesting. We work so hard to create the Band-Aid that we don't really go for what we want. And by the time we have the money or the time or the freedom, we're so burned out that we can't do the one thing we really want to do, and then we judge ourselves. The real question is, why don't you manifest what you really want in the first place? Why are we so afraid of our dreams? Or why do we think they're not precious enough to go all in and create them? Big dreams create drive. The three channels connecting the root center, or the divine timing center in quantum human design, to the spleen, the self-actualization center in quantum human design, give us the energy and the endurance to keep going towards our dreams, even when they challenge us or when we have to work to perfect them. I can't tell you how many people I've coached who've burned themselves out because they've been pursuing inadequate and compromised dreams. A big dream lights a massive fire under your soul, and the light of this fire lights the way. even during a dark night of the soul. Number 2, we don't allow for rest and renewal. The human design chart clearly shows us that in order to create sustainably and to increase our well-being and wellness, we have to rest. It's not an accident that pretty much every major religion has rest built into their teachings. Rest, associated with the will center or the resource center in quantum human design, is deeply tied to our own self-worth. When we devalue ourselves because we've been entrained to follow a creative path that denies our dreams, and we are compelled to use metrics of value that don't actually make our hearts soar, we fail to make the money, have the right bra size, pant size, have the right years of education, and all the other numbers we use to measure value. When we don't value ourselves, we don't think we deserve the rest and renewal. We create a false sense of value that is derived from the idea that our value is measured by how hard we work. I have never, literally never met a lazy person in my entire life. Never. But I have met a lot of people with low self-worth who have failed to value themselves enough to rest adequately, and who burn themselves out pursuing ideals of success that leave their souls and their spirits feeling very dry and crispy. You won't manifest if you're exhausted. The universe knows better than that, and instead often sends you what I like to call a cosmic loving pause, which usually we misinterpret as failing or being stuck instead of realizing the universe knows exactly what you need. If nothing is happening and you're exhausted, rest. Number 3, we don't have the faith or the courage to trust that we'll be supported in the pursuit of our dreams. Because we are so conditioned by the idea that the only way to create is through sacrifice, hard work, and compromise, we often struggle to find the courage to create what we want. Not only that, if we don't know how we're going to do something, and that something is really, really big or outside of the definition of reasonable, we are often discouraged and even mocked by others. For some reason, the word dreamer became an insult associated with the archetype of the aimless dreamer like Don Quixote. The truth? You will literally get nowhere without a dream. The bigger the dream, the more faith and courage it's going to take. How about we normalize celebrating and cherishing those who have the faith and the courage to nourish and nurture big dreams? Let's start standing in the gap between our dreams and our manifestations for each other like wild cosmic cheerleaders. The bigger the dream, the greater the possibility for the entire story of humanity to shift. Number 4, we've been trained to look for our shadow, shame, brokenness, and stuckness, and we get trapped there thinking that if we find what's broken, we'll be free. The truth is, if you go looking for your shadow, shame, brokenness, and stuckness, you're going to find it. And odds are you're going to focus on it. And it's going to keep you tripping up again and again and again. There is a point where you can gather the understandings that you need to interpret why you may be holding old patterns that aren't serving your expansion and evolution, but you'll go way farther focusing on your strengths and what is working. This is not bypassing. Stop fighting for your limitations. Grow your good stories and you'll get much better results. You'll rewire your brain. You'll shift into a creative state of coherence. You'll decrease cortisol and increase dopamine. You'll feel better. You'll become more empowered. You'll find more energy. Just do it. Number 5, we're trained to use our minds to figure out instead of to dream and imagine. You are brilliant and wildly intelligent, but the truth is, no matter how smart you are, when you are figuring things out, your mind is choosing from a conditioned and limited set of options. When we learn how to use the power of dreaming and imagination to seed the infinite mind of the universe, we leave ourselves open to miraculous outcomes and synchronous happenings that defy the reasoning and logic of our minds. When we rely on the mind's ability to figure things out, we think small, we think finitely, and we cannot imagine and create beyond what we know. Your eyes can only see as far as the horizon when they're looking out at the ocean. There's an entire world beyond the horizon, but we can't see it if we can't dream and imagine. Number 6, we resist right timing. The truth is, we can influence timing, but we can't control it. You can influence timing by doing the following things. Number 1, follow what brings you joy. Number 2, dream big enough to keep you inspired. Number 3, lay the foundation, do the work for your dream to be birthed. It won't happen if you're not prepared. Number 4, take care of any unfinished business that you need to complete to ensure that there's enough room and you're ready for what's next. Number 5, be grateful for where you are and focus on what is working, not on what isn't. Number 6, make sure there isn't anything distracting you from your focus. Number 7, find a community of people who can stand in the gap for you on those days when you lose your faith. It happens. We all need people who believe in us and our dreams. Number 8, have enough faith in the unseen that you keep going, even if you can't see it yet. Number 9, tend to the fires of passion and take time daily to truly see, smell, feel, touch, and be in your dreams. When you do these things and keep tending to your dream, you'll influence timing. If you resist timing and push against it, you'll use all of your adrenaline fighting against yourself and the universe. Number 7, we don't consciously cultivate our resilience. There are 9 key archetypes that need to be functioning at a high level for you to have the capacity and the amplitude of vibration to create. These 9 core archetypes, called the 9 resiliency keys, are lovability, self-worth, authenticity, courage, self-trust, decisiveness, emotional wisdom, empowerment, and vitality. When we live out the highest expression of these keys in our lives, we show up with excellence. We have the sustainability to endure the creative process and the patience to be in sync with right timing. We know we deserve to rest and to fulfill our dreams to their highest capacity. We know how to modulate and regulate our energy and our passion so that we can sustain the fire underneath our dreams. You deserve that, by the way, in case you forgot. If you'd like some help to kickstart your capacity to manifest, get your free quantum human design chart at freehumandesignchart.com. You can also learn more about rewriting your personal narrative or helping others to do this important work by downloading my free ebook, The Practitioner's Guide to Holistic Healing, Beyond the Basics of Human Design. To get a free copy of this guide, simply join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/QHD group. I'm Karen Curry Parker. Thank you for joining me for Quantum Revolution. Here's to better stories of possibility, fulfillment, and abundance.
Thank you for joining us on Quantum Revolution with Karen Curry Parker. For more information on how to change your world, visit quantumrevolutionpodcast.com. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcasting platform so you don't miss a single episode of Quantum Revolution. We'll see you next time for some more groundbreaking conversations with Karen and her guests. How will you impact your world today?